Hello, today we're going to talk about how to apply a budget to a modification on an award. So you'll remember from our last video that we've done the second version of this award. It is an increment. So if we go down, we can see that we have 2 years on this award. We added our second year in time and money. We've doubled the amount of the award. Everything's in place. We have our modification ID. So now we're going to go over to budget versions. And we can see the first budget that we have, and we can see that our current budget start date and budget end date is a year, and we want to do the second year. So we're going to do a budget called Period 2 and click New. So now we can come down and we can see that the amounts from the first budget were pulled in. So every budget is going to start where the last one left off, and then we are going to add to this budget. We're going to add additional periods and additional line items, and we're going to pull in some information from the attached prop dev. But when we're done, this budget will represent the state of the award as of this moment. So we've created our budget, and then we're going to click the Open button. So we come down here and we see that the amounts don't match. That's to be expected. The first thing we'll notice is we only have our one period for this budget. And for this particular budget, it's all zeros. I mean, we do have the amounts overall because that's still kind of there, but we haven't made changes to this budget in this particular version. But really, this is an increment. We want to put all of our expenses into the second period. So we're going to have to add that period. And it's going to be another year. So to make this simple, I'm just going to copy my original dates up and then push them out a year. And then we're going to click the Add button. So now we can see we have our second period added. That's excellent. We do want this cost limit here to be applied to the second period. So that's all well and good. The first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to jump over to budget actions because the budget defaults to having validation turned on. And I don't want validation sort of jumping out on me as I'm building out the budget. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, get all my information in, and then I can turn my validation back on. So now we're going to go back to parameters. And we have our second period, and then we have this search button over here. So we're going to do a search, and that's going to bring up the periods that are available from the proposal that funded this budget. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to select period 2, and we're going to click return selected. So now we have everything pulled in. We have a total sponsor cost after it pulls in of $29,030. That's actually really convenient because our cost limit is $30,000. So we're only going to have to do a little bit of tweaking to make this line up. So then we can go ahead and jump over probably to non-personnel. So now that we're in non-personnel, we're going to want to flip over to period 2. Click Update View. So now we can see the budget lines that we just imported, and we can see that our total sponsor cost is $29,030. So we need to add $970. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to add $200 to travel, $200 to consultants, and I'm going to add $300 to equipment minor, and then we're going to save. And that's put us over by just a little bit, which is no problem. We need to just play around with these numbers a bit. This is perfect. We're off by $10 exactly. So we can either go to equipment minor because that probably doesn't have MTDC on it, although with minor it might. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go back to summary. I know that I have to add exactly $10. So we'll just put $10 on the F&A costs and hit save. And now we have our $30,000. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to budget actions. And now that I've done all the modifications to the budget, I'm going to turn my validation back on because I do want to check and make sure I don't have any errors. I do not, which is fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and hit submit. And now we have submitted, which is great. Take a quick look at the route log. Go back up and reload budget actions. Now that the workflow has completed, we have our post option. So we're going to go ahead and click post. And now we've posted our budget. And we have our period 2 budget, and it has the full amount on it. We can go into period 1 and see the line items that were added in that action. We can go into period 2 and see the line items that were added there. Everything is posted and available in the system. I hope this has been helpful and that it makes it a little bit easier for you to move through the amendment process.